Let's mold in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's bog in the Central Committee right now.
Warning. Warning. Oh, God. No, dude, I can't do this early into the stream. We can't.
So I signed it to you, and this is how they chart out everything to really actually go through it and play it.
Oh, good.
So
That's
very
exciting.
Cool.
I love DeSantis being like, good, that's good. Wow. Have you ever considered just keeping your mouth shut?
Different than what you've heard on the iPhone. So
Okay.
now I was asking them, do you like listening to it loud?
Yeah, however you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just push play.
I believe so, sir.
Okay. All right. Here we
Do
go.
you like listening to Ron DeSantis is like every other weirdo political freak. He probably doesn't listen to any music at all. His mind is probably filled with all his plots.
Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's a little different.
How does low turnout affect things? Low turnout means that the strike is going to be even harder to pull off. That's the thing that worries me quite a bit about the union. Yeah, it's great that they won the vote, but do they actually have the floor? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they do. And, you know, a lot of people are apathetic. It's got to be, you know, he's got a lot of work to do. It's good news that he got the union according to the letter of the law, you know, according to the National Labor Relations Board. But does he have a union in the sense of worker feeling? And that is going to be the test. Is now that they've won, what can they do with it? I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting at all. I'm just telling you the truth of how these things work. The hardest thing to do is get the first contract. So I'm really excited for them, but they've got a lot of work to do. And I hope they don't get involved in like weirdo, psycho, fucking online only type debates instead of focusing what they need to focus on. It sounds like every country music song ever made. Grim is totally right.
The press don't like him, but it sure does get my business. He stands up for what he believes. So don't come down here trying to change things. We're doing all right in the Sunshine State. Stay out of our business, leave our gov alone. Down in sweet Florida.
Leave our gov alone? What are you, Britney Spears? Leave our gov alone? This is the most cucked song I've ever heard.
Our governor is red, white, and blue.
Wait, which is it? Do you not want us to leave? Do you want to just be Florida or do you want to be America? The fucking contradictions of conservatives is... God, they're so dumb. Fuck, they're dumb.
Shooting us straight, telling us the truth. Yeah, that's right.
I love the fighting is like shaking someone's hand and throwing a hat. He's on the TV! That means he's fighting for us! He's on the TV!
Yeah, he's fighting for the right to keep our state free.
I can tell you, chat, that I'm a very evil person at my heart because when I see this, I'm like, no hurricane aid. Why the fuck is Pennsylvania giving hurricane aid to this piece of shit state? No more flood insurance. Let it rot. I'm thinking, let them be free. Let them be free. But, you know, there's a lot of innocent people. Blah, 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 blah. Feel guilty, you lib.
Well, he's taking on the swamp and he's calling out Dr. Fauci. He's the only one fighting for you and me. You and me. Yeah, we're free. Yeah, we're free. Down in sweet Florida. Our governor, he's red, white, and blue. Oh, down in sweet down, we still have our freedom. We can still see
What I love about this is their definition of fighting for freedom is arguing with reporters at a podium. Like, this motherfucker doesn't fight for shit. Oh my God, he yelled at the TV people.
our friends and family. Oh, our kids are in school and we can go to church on Sunday. And it's all because DeSantis knows how to lead.
Okay, by the way, that's true of every single state, even California. There is no place that has a lockdown. What are you talking about? You know what I love? Man, these conservatives are going to make me say shit I'm going to regret. They really are going to make me say shit I'm going to regret. You know, if I, like it makes me want to go, hey, COVID, that was a good start. Chairman Xi, can you finish the job, please? Chairman Xi, please.
Down in sweet Florida, our governor,
Jay Conner, thanks for your one. Bro, he's wearing a button down on a fan boat. Could he be any more inauthentic? Well, they found a black guy. They did it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet Florida. Our governor, he's red, white, and blue.
I have some really like edgy jokes I want to make right now about the songwriting, but I'm not going to. Just come up with an edgy joke on your own about the songwriting.
Oh, down in sweet Florida, he's shooting us straight, telling us the truth. Where he's kicking it up, standing up and down in Florida. He's a military man with the courage to withstand him all. Yeah, we're free down in Florida. Yeah, we're free in Florida. Our governor, he's red, white, and
Bro, he did JAG. He did JAG at Harvard Law School. Come on, man. Like, come on. He's a military man.
Really good.
He's military man. Like, come on, man. Jesus Christ. I'm hill hanging around my hey old balls 73. How you doing, buddy? All right, we have a lot to talk about, chat. And I just wanted to make a quick note. Hey, chat, I made a prediction the other day. Remember that prediction? We were talking about the Hungary election of Viktor Orban versus that like conservative neoliberal who wanted to cut the minimum wage in Hungary. And everybody was like, the entire opposition is uniting around this character. So basically they picked the Biden of Hungary, right, to run against Orban. What do you think happened, chat? I made a bold prediction that he was going to get his ass kicked no matter what the polls said. And it turned out, whoops-a-daisy, it was a goddamn landslide. The polls were wrong. Viktor Orban has declared victory. What a fucking surprise. Cutting the minimum wage didn't win? What do you know? While Hungarian progressives must have been blamed somehow. Oh yeah, it was definitely the LGBT. See, he was not weak enough on LGBT rights. He needed to be anti-LGBT to have a shot. Viktor Orban declared victory over 6 foes of the speech: the left at home, the international left abroad, the Brussels bureaucrats, George Soros, the international media, and Vladimir Zelensky. That's what it is, Chad. Everybody was voting. Well, I guess that prediction of mine worked, huh? I guess that doesn't matter. I was right about Hungary's election. Oh well. I guess it doesn't matter, huh? I guess that doesn't matter. So here's what CNN said. Faces a united front, huh? Huh? How'd that work out?
Viktor Orban, by most measures, is the EU leader closest to Vladimir Putin recently. Just 3 weeks before the war began, Orban took a trip to Moscow, welcomed by Putin across a very long table. National elections in Hungary on Sunday will test whether Orban's 12-year run as prime minister will go another 4 years, and his relationship with Putin is suddenly at the center of Hungarian politics. What began as a campaign focused on local issues now has opposition leaders determined to link Orban with Putin and his bloody war in Ukraine, with political attack ads painting Orban as Moscow's puppet, a strongman leader determined to side with...
Chat, look at that! They're playing the Hillary Clinton playbook. I wonder if that's gonna win. He's Putin's puppet. I wonder if that's gonna win. What do you think?
Authoritarian Russia instead of the democratic West. This ad saying, quote, "We want Hungary to be a Western country again. If you're voting for Orban, you're voting for Putin." Or this one saying, quote, "Orban, tell your friend of 12 years, don't kill." Orban has...
There's something about libs where they think being hawkish on foreign policy is some sort of strategy to win elections. Populations don't want war. You fucking psycho. Hey, fight Putin. What? Have you not seen what's happening in Mariupol? Do you really want a war with fucking Russia? You dipshit. Orban gave all the pensioners a 13th month to cover the gas bills. He's basically bought the election. You know what that's called, Belgian Doomer? Material conditions. That means help. He decided to help the people of Hungary. I don't like him, but I think that's a better strategy to win power than, I don't know, calling him Putin's puppet. People need help to pay for heat. He gave it to them. That's called being a politician.
Undeniably supported Putin, vetoing sanctions.
They also put a limit on inflation for food. Exactly.
Expanding the Russian-Hungarian partnership.
Pro-Russian policies of Viktor Orban, which are a very important building block of his entire political vision, are now exposed.
And with Putin's popularity plummeting, the opposition calculus is simple. Orban plus Putin equals a winning political strategy. But not so fast. Because Orban is fighting back. Call it a flip-flop, call it a pivot, but Orban is no longer Putin's best buddy. Even though he's not openly criticizing him personally, the Hungarian leader went along with initial EU sanctions against Russia, has described the invasion as Russian aggression, and despite being vehemently anti-immigrant for years now, has let in hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees in the past few weeks. He says we are a great country, which gives everything to people who are fleeing trouble. Since the war began, Orban has refused to let weapons pass through Hungary to Ukraine or provide military aid, but he's deflected any criticism of that by claiming he is simply a man of peace, counting on the notion that many Hungarians want nothing to do with the war.
The gut reaction of most of the public is that, oh, we should just not get involved with this thing. Yep.
Oh, we don't want to be in a war. Yeah, what a surprise that was the right strategy to win an election, you fucking dipshit. People don't want war. What a shock.
Orban has taken advantage of that sentiment.
And that's what they are trying.
Whether it works remains to be seen, but polling, which isn't always reliable in Hungary, has Orban and his party out in front. One big name the opposition hopes will change that.
Послухай, Вікторе, знаєш, що відбувається в Маріуполі? Ви маєте самі вирішити, за кого ви.
That's, of course, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who has criticized what he calls Orban's lack of support for Ukraine's fight for its existence. But it's not clear if that will be enough. At an anti-Orban rally on Saturday, Ukraine flags flew, and the crowd kept pushing the Orban-Putin narrative. But not many people showed up. Whether that's an ominous sign for the opposition or just the result of cold, rainy weather, we'll find out when the votes come in. Matt Rivers, CNN, Budapest, Hungary.
And what do you have to say to...
I mean, like, I don't know what to say, you know. Hungarian Orban hails great victory after landslide election win. So the polls were wrong. They underestimated Orban's support. Hungary Prime Minister Viktor Orban has hailed a great victory for his Fidesz party after preliminary results show the right-wing group winning Sunday's general election by a landslide. Was by a much greater margin than the polls had suggested after a campaign overshadowed by the war in neighboring Ukraine. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Calling him Putin's puppet and wanting to cut the minimum wage failed? Who fucking could have seen that coming? He gave the pensioners a one-time 13th month, so yeah, by the electorate, they won't be doing it again because they have to keep the budget on 30% of GDP of it is an EDU requirement. Yeah, 3% of GDP budget deficit. Yeah. Yeah, no room for leftist politics. The rest will be filled in with the same copy-paste id-pull white grievance policies. Oh yeah, of course. The Russian invasion of Ukraine had forced Orban into an awkward maneuvering. No, it didn't. No, it fucking didn't. It absolutely did. And maybe in the elite lib circles of the English-speaking press, Orban was in some sort of trouble. All he had to say was, it's terrible, wars are terrible, but we're not going to be involved. And that's what he did. And he won. It wasn't even awkward at all. Nothing awkward at all. This is diluted. But the 58-year-old mounted a successful campaign to spread his party's core electorate that the six-party opposition alliance that is promising to mend ties with the European Union could lead the country into war. Wow, they took the anti-war position from the left. Because the left, what did the left do? The left went into an alliance with the centrists. And what does that mean? That means the centrists control everything. When the left enters an alliance with the centrists, that means the centrists control everything and no concessions. None are given to the left. And this is what fucking happens. You lose. You try to go to the right of the fascists on foreign policy. Truly amazing. Truly fucking amazing.
Have you clear something up for us? And this is these reports about the Azov battalion that is said to be Nazi-affiliated organization operating as a militia in your country, said to be committing their own atrocities. What should Americans know about that unit, about those reports?
Azov was one of those many battalions. They are what they are. They were defending our country. And later, I want to explain to you. Everything from all the components of those volunteer battalions later were incorporated into the military of Ukraine. Those Azov fighters are no longer self-established group. They are a component of the Ukrainian military. Back in 2014, there were situations when our volunteers were encircled, and some of them did violate laws of Ukraine. And they actually were taken to court and got prison sentences. So law is above all.
Yeah. Addressing a jubilant crowd chanting his name in Budapest, Orban said Sunday's victory came against all odds. We have scored a victory so bad, so big, that it could even be seen from the moon, he said. We have defended Hungary's sovereignty and freedom. Preliminary results with about 98% of the National Party list votes counted showed Orban's leading with 53.1% of the votes versus 35%. Now, chat, they said that he was up 5%. 5%. It turned out he was up 18 points, not 5. That is how badly centrist liberalism does against fascism and right-wing populism. They underperform the polls. Oh my God!
Peter Márki-Zay is leading an alliance of 6 opposition parties. They don't all agree on policy, but they're united in one aim: to bring down Hungary's Prime Minister,
Friedman's
Viktor
wrong.
Orban. Márki-Zay is telling his people that Orban has split the country. He's made his close supporters rich, and he's moving more towards the autocracy of Russia and his friend President Vladimir Putin, rather than abiding by the EU's rule of law.
We can't support Biden for re-election, man. We got it. We got to get somebody else in there. He's got to be primaried, man. We can't let Trump and the Republicans win by 10 points. We can't do it.
Ukraine dominates this campaign. Márki-Zay wants to back NATO and the EU in helping Ukraine with military aid, but Orban is telling his people the opposition wants to join the war.
It's a disgusting lie. But Orban has been doing this forever, I could say that. He has always, instead of protecting the nation, protecting the country, he has always been attacking the opposition. For 12 years, Orban has been waging war on everybody: homosexuals, the LGBTQ community, Roma, migrants, leftists, Brussels. Orban has been waging war forever. He's been serving Putin's interests.
Márki-Zay is from the provincial town of Hódmezővásárhely, where he organised a national movement to unify political parties.
Peter Márki-Zay is hardly a high-profile politician. He's mayor of a town known mostly for its unusually...
He lost in his own town, chat. He lost in his own town. Who would you pick realistically? If I were in Ukraine and I was a leftist, first of all, I would understand that they're gonna lose because they are so far beyond the pale, and I would run an unabashed left candidate. That's it. That's what I would do. I would not give a fuck about these centrist pieces of shit. It doesn't work. They don't win, and when they do win, they do nothing. And they set up a situation where the country is even more desperate for change, and then they vote for Viktor Orban even more. I'd also recognize that, you know, Hungary's in such a bad position. I don't, you know, it's going to take years and years and years to get out of it. That's the reality of it. I think the lesson that we can take is don't do it anymore. Stop electing Bidens. Stop electing Clintons.
Long name. He isn't a member of parliament. He doesn't belong.
Losing in your own town is not a litmus. Imagine running as a progressive in a town in West Virginia. You would win your town. Hillary Clinton won towns in West Virginia. You would win your home district.
To a political party. Yet
would I choose to primary Biden? I don't know yet.
To Viktor Orban. The two men do
literally
have one thing
anyone.
in common.
I don't care.
They're both conservatives.
Orban disputes that. He brands Márki-Zay and his alliance as left-wing.
The left thinks that Ukraine fights our war. This is what the leader...
So in other words, you have a conservative running against a fascist, and the conservative is like, I'm not left, I'm not left, I'm not left. And you're surprised the left wing isn't coming out in droves for you? You're surprised that people think we're both conservatives, Victor. Wow. Oh man, I couldn't imagine how much youthful energy he's got.
Of our opponents said word for word that Ukraine fights our war. This is a mistake. This is not our war. In this war, we cannot gain anything but can lose everything.
He's gonna.
Orban
no
tells
wonder
his
he won by
people
18
he'll
points.
keep them safe and throws in sweeteners, tax cuts, capped petrol prices, and securing Russian gas supplies.
Notice that like providing for the people is called a sweetener. Notice that, hey, we're in a period of extremely high inflation, and countries like Hungary, the average person can't afford to pay for petrol prices, food prices, all those other issues, and they call it a sweetener. But you see, the opposition candidate, he's running a serious campaign about involving Ukraine in involving Hungary in Ukraine's wars and cutting the minimum wage. Very serious politician.
On Ukraine, the government says it's welcomed more than 500,000 of its refugees, more than any other European country of its size. That claim is described as misleading, though, by at least one human rights organization, saying most of the refugees are in transit. But whatever Marquis says about Orban, many see him as a stable and strong figure in dangerous times. Andrew Simmons, Al Jazeera, Budapest.
No shot. No shot. Hey, let's see what he says. A minimum wage. Oh, he opposes wage perceived as a neoliberal on economic issues. He opposes raising the minimum wage, believing that the market would be able to regulate salaries and reforming the tax system. He explained that for the time being, it is in Hungary's interest to be a tax haven. How did he lose? How did he lose? And you know what he probably said when Orban was like, I'm going to make sure that the petrol prices are capped, the inflation is capped, I'm going to protect you from the global economy and the effects of this war. He was like, the market must decide. If the market says you have to die of freezing cold, you must freeze. How did he lose? How did he fucking lose? Tough re-election fight. Absolute. Hey, CNN, where's your follow-up video? Hey, where's your follow-up video,
Orban,
CNN?
by most measures, is the
I don't see this. I just see a delusional video.
The EU leader closest to Vladimir Putin recently. Just 3 weeks before the war began, Orban took a trip to Moscow, welcomed by Putin across a very long table.
See, the thing about the Ukraine war will be the downfall of the EU as we know it. We'll probably have far-right coups or election wins in the coming years because of the massive inflation. Well, not only that. So people said, Loretto said, it's because they believe that everybody wants what they want, boring status quo and return to normal, where they believe being fascist light is an appealing option. Well, here's the advantage that COVID and inflation is causing for the right wing. It's a nostalgia period. Everybody knows how much things suck now, and you can appeal to, hey, we'll go back to life before COVID. And there were good things about life before COVID. You know, you could go to bars, you could go to a show, you could go hang out with random people. You know, the economy was better. And even though it sucked, 2019 was dog shit. Many people compare that to 2022, which is a hellscape. And the years of COVID lockdowns and restrictions, people want to go back. So we're in a nostalgic period. People are nostalgic, and that is ripe for fascism.
National elections in Hungary on Sunday will test whether
Liberals think this is a war of ideas instead of an actual fight for survival. This is why they lose. Because of course they lose. They lose because they don't understand material reality is important and they have no plan. You know what Kamala Harris is tweeting? You know what Kamala Harris is tweeting? Fucking guess what she's tweeting. This is her last tweet. This is her fucking last tweet. Last year, the deficit fell by over $350 billion. We're building a better America. You know, I was going to vote for the Republicans, but then I found out that you cut the deficit by 30%, and I was like, America, I love Biden now. I love Biden now. Wait, she what a fucking loser. When small business owners have the support they need, they create jobs, drive and inspire innovation, and grow our entire economy. She cut the deficit and is filleting small business owners who pay the least. This is the Viktor Orban landslide defeat. Another small business video. I mean, is she a Republican? This is a Republican. This could be a Republican politician. There is no difference. None between them. This could be a Republican.
And I believe America is a nation that is driven by the ambition and aspirations of her people. And our economy, to a great extent, therefore, is driven by the ambition and aspiration of our small businesses. Small business owners work morning and night to transform an idea into a reality. And that energy, of course, drives our entire nation forward. It creates jobs. It drives innovation. It accelerates economic growth. I believe America.
She goes to Howard University and she's like, petite bourgeoisie, that's the way. We've got a party of we have the party of the far right and the party of the far right. We have a party of the far right and a party of the further right. Joe Biden wants to spend $800 billion in the military while they cut funding for COVID aid. 1 million Americans died of COVID. 1 million.